Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Daniel, and in the past I've reviewed many wireless CarPlay adapters, and today we're talking about the most full-featured, nicest interfaced one that I've ever seen, and that is the latest from Joyeauto. It's called the MMB Max. It's your wireless CarPlay and Android Auto adapter plus Android multimedia box. That means you can watch videos, play games. I'm gonna review all the things that they've improved in this edition versus the last one. Keep watching. Before we get started, I want to say Joyeauto did provide me with this unit to test out, but all the opinions in this video are my own. They don't tell me what to say, and I want to tell you all the goods and the bads so you know exactly what you're getting. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video, I reviewed the Joyeauto MMB Android 11 box. I don't cover all the details in this video. If you have questions about this product, you might want to watch my other video first and then comment below if you have questions. Now, it's been almost 3 years now, maybe a little more, since I did my first review on a wireless CarPlay adapter. And since then, there's been so many changes, so many manufacturers, and now different levels of CarPlay adapters. So I want to take a minute to review those various levels. Originally, and still now, you can buy cheap for like 50, 70 bucks a wireless CarPlay adapter. All it does is allows you to change your wired CarPlay into wireless. And you just get in your car, you don't have to plug in your phone. That's great. They've really come down in price and they're pretty reliable and work in most cars that already have CarPlay capability. Android Auto CarPlay adapters are a little less available, but they're out there. Motorola makes a great one, and there's some out there like this one that actually do both. And so the second level of CarPlay or Android Auto adapters are ones that do that, plus they do phone screen mirroring or casting, right? So whatever's on your phone shows up on your car's screen. The downside is sometimes there's not a lot of interface on the car's screen. You got to do pretty much everything by handling your phone, and occasionally I do hear audio delays when watching videos, for example. The third level is CarPlay Android Auto adapters like this one that also have the Android side. Basically, they are an entire Android operating system like an Android tablet or an Android phone, but no screen. The screen is your car's screen. But that means, folks, that whatever you do with an Android phone or tablet, you can generally do with these, such as download all the apps off the Google Play Store, including, yes, video streaming apps, and they actually play while you're driving. Now, I am not endorsing driving and watching movies. That's not what it's about. It's for maybe your passengers on a road trip, or maybe just on your lunch break at work. You want to sit in your car's comfortable seat and watch a YouTube video, right? There's advantages here. You can put games, and I've been experimenting with various car-related apps as well. So in this video, we're going to look at Joyeauto's new MMB Max. It's updated in many ways, including the hardware definitely looks different, and the interface is better, and there's a few more features we're going to talk about. So let's get in the car, and I'll review that with you. All right, so a number of improvements have come to this new MMB box. Remember, this is the old one. It's kind of big, it's like credit card size, but it's pretty thick. And this is the new one. Quite a difference in form factor, definitely much thinner, and that means that it's gonna fit in more places in your car. I do wish this one was a little bit narrower in some cases, but otherwise, I like the new MMB Max much better. The old MMB box had a USB-C port and a USB-A port, as well as an HDMI port. The new MMB Max has a nice cover covering the ports when you aren't using them, and it has an SD card slot, a SIM card slot, and on the back here is the USB-C port, and there would be a spot for the HDMI port if you option it, because it is an option on the MMB Max. So what are you going to use that SD card slot for? Well, you can actually store music, movies, or files on that SD card and access them through the interface while you're using this. Joyeauto says the new processor in here and associated memory are much faster on this one. Honestly, I didn't notice much of a difference because this old box did perfectly fine, but it's always better to have more processing power and memory, especially as apps become more intensive on processors. So I'm happy for that update, but I didn't really notice a difference with it. Joyeauto also said that this one boots up and connects faster than the old one, and I tested that out. When I compared the old MMB 11 box and the new MMB Max, I actually found that their startup times were pretty much the same. It does vary a little bit. On average, it's going to start somewhere between 30 to 52 seconds. Usually the 52 seconds is required if you have it set up to boot up and then connect to wireless CarPlay. If you just have it going straight to the Android interface on the box, it boots up a little quicker, usually somewhere between 35 to 45 seconds. Now that doesn't seem like a lot of time, but sometimes I'm already driving away waiting for my CarPlay to pop up so I can get Google Maps going. However, on most of the cars I've tested on, if you use your key fob as you're walking towards the car, unlocking the car adds power to the USB port. So by the time you get in and start your car, the box has already done a lot of the booting up, and you'll have the Android side or the CarPlay side or Android Auto pop up a lot sooner. Now, what about the interface? How is it improved? Well, when it comes to wireless CarPlay, which is what I use because I have an Apple phone, it works as it should. It works just like any good wireless CarPlay system out there. And then if you want to go to the Android side of things, you would hit this button. On my car, it says Porsche, but some cars there may not be an icon for it. And it goes to the Android mode. Now, here's what you need to understand. These modes are two separate modes. When you're in wireless CarPlay mode, you're doing those things. When you're over here in the Android mode, it's a little different. You have basically an Android interface. This is kind of like your home screen, and you can set certain widgets the way you want, and you can quickly go to wireless CarPlay or Android Auto if you have an Android phone. You can see all your apps here, the motion is smooth, and the interface looks a lot better. In fact, even the background looks a lot like my CarPlay background, which I think is good. The last interface didn't look quite as clean, I should say, right? And it comes preloaded with a number of apps like YouTube, YouTube Music, and then you can add other things. I've added a couple apps here and there to test out. In the settings section, you have a number of choices. You can choose how you want the layout of the main screen. You can set your wallpaper, of course, and there's some already in there. There is the startup animation. You can actually choose what you want, and this is the one I put in. I just grabbed some stock footage off the internet, but if you can edit video, you might put maybe in this car some sort of cool Porsche video that starts when it boots up, and then there's a sound as well. I don't remember if you could customize that, but you would use an SD card and do it on your computer, and then you could load it in here. It comes with a different video for startup, but I was just testing it out. And if you don't know how to do video editing and stuff, you could always just ask somebody on Fiverr to do it, pay them, and they'll put together some cool startup animation for your car. Now, when you're in the Android Auto mode, some people ask about using Bluetooth music and Bluetooth phone. Don't do that. It's just not good at it, to be honest. You could, of course, use your car's Bluetooth, which I know on my Cadillac, it's going to be doing both connections, both my phone and to the Android box. Or just go back to wireless CarPlay or Android Auto and use the functions there. They're just a lot more seamless. Overall, I feel like this is a small improvement in the interface. No really change for me as far as how it operates, power-wise or how fast it is. But I am glad to have the new MMB Max box because it just feels like a more well-done OS. Now, I didn't get the box with the HDMI adapter, but as I showed you with the last one, you can plug it into a TV and have full Android apps and capability on a TV. Maybe you don't have a smart TV, and that can add smart functions. In fact, right here under settings, there's also this HDMI Cinema button where you can use all these apps from the MMB box and project it onto a screen that's not a smart TV, for example. So let's say that you are driving along and your passenger wants to watch Netflix, or maybe you're taking that lunch break and you want to sit here and watch some YouTube videos. Well, you can go to YouTube, but think about this. Where does the internet come from? In this case, it says connect to the internet, you're offline. You see, we get so used to using CarPlay and Android Auto, which comes right off of our phone using the cellular signal there. But when you're running the Android side, not Android Auto, the Android MMB side of this unit, you're not getting cellular data off your phone. So the only way to get internet was with the other box. Maybe if your car has a Wi-Fi hotspot, you pay a subscription, your car has its own little Wi-Fi, that's cool. That was not an optioned out item in this car. My Cadillac, I don't have it activated. And then you could, of course, go to your phone and turn on Wi-Fi hotspot. And the downside, though, to using the Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone is you need to go back to Apple CarPlay. Well, The Wi-Fi hotspot and Apple CarPlay wireless can't work together because they both use a Wi-Fi signal and it can only connect to one Wi-Fi channel at a time, right? So that's kind of inconvenient. Now I'm sitting here near my garage, I've got Wi-Fi from the house, I can connect to that. And you'll notice it says, oh, you have CarPlay running in the background. If you want to connect to Wi-Fi, you've got to stop CarPlay altogether. And I'll accept. And folks, there's just no way around this. This is just how it is. And if that really bugs you, this may not be for you. But here I connect to Wi-Fi, and now I go back and I can go to YouTube, and it works fine because now I have an internet connection, except my connection's not so great out here on the driveway. And so of course, if I'm gonna watch any video, I could just watch my own here, and let's check out last year's streaming video device. It comes right up here on the screen. Audio and everything, and the ads. Let's skip past those. And you can control everything on your car's screen. Right now the quality's low as it's a low connection right now out here in the driveway, but otherwise my Porsche has a pretty nice resolution screen. The Cadillac, my other car, it's a 2015, it has a much lower resolution, and sometimes videos don't look quite as good. Now, what I said about Wi-Fi, what is the alternative? Well, I was so excited that in this version, the MMB Max box, they included a SIM card port. That means you could put a SIM card in there, have it linked to your mobile data, and then you have a connection. There's no need to do a hotspot or use your car's Wi-Fi. You just turn it on and it's already got its LTE signal. Well, I tried a couple SIM cards, one from my AT&T iPhone, one from an iPad, and then a T-Mobile test one from Mint. All of them registered as LTE cards. The system could see it, but no data would flow. And honestly, folks, I think that may be the difference between North American cellular networks and companies and how they operate compared to maybe the rest of the world, where SIM cards aren't just so interchangeable without a little bit of software setup and maybe some communication with the cellular carrier. I'm no expert, but it clearly is not working here. And I've seen other companies that have similar products. They advertise one box for the rest of the world and another box for North America. So in this case, the Joyeauto one doesn't seem to be working for me here in North America, and maybe it will for you, but if you live outside the US, you probably have some pretty good luck with it. So overall, folks, this MMB box is great. I love having this in my car, and I want to experiment more with some of these cool car apps, such as the Track Addict or Race Chrono app, but I need to mess around with it some more before I do that. All right, folks, that's it for the Joyeauto MMB Max, the most full-featured MMB box and wireless CarPlay adapter out there. As far as I can tell, I really like it. Now, I also reviewed the Goldilocks adapter, I say, is because it has all the best features, but for a lower price point. You can check out that video. I'll have a link at the end here of this video. It's called the Joyeauto MMB TV box. But if you're interested in buying the MMB Max, they're $260 for a no HDMI module, and if you want one with HDMI and 64 gigabytes of memory, it's $295, and then you can double that memory to 128 at $305. But remember, you can just put an SD card in the slot for extra storage. If you've got one lying around, no need to spend the extra money. You can purchase everything at the Joyeauto store. Also, you can visit James, the auto amateur. He sells a number of Joyeauto products as well, and you might find some of them cheaper there. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I do all sorts of reviews on products like this and lots of Cadillac and Porsche stuff, so if you're interested, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and consider hitting the bell for future videos. Thanks so much for watching the Jet Fueling channel. We'll see you next time.